This liger is bigger than your dreams. This creature is about to make you go, holy cow. And this sheep went through a weight loss journey. Let's get into it. Lions are already terrifying. Add giant and tiger to the mix, and you have what's called a liger. This guy is no joke. Can you imagine being chased by one of these?
Look at the teeth on this guy.
We get scared when we see tiny lizards in our house, but this? Unimaginable. That thing's straight out of a nightmare no one wants to get stuck in. The real question is, how in the world did it get inside that house without anyone finding out? If there's one moose you don't want hopping right in front of your car, it's this one. Because if it does, it's your car that's going to get destroyed, not the moose. We wouldn't even have seen this beast if it weren't injured and wandered toward the road. The drivers are lucky it wasn't in a destructive mood, otherwise there'd be absolute chaos. Snakes don't have to be too big to be scary, but when they are, it's like a scene out of a horror movie. Medusa is the perfect example of a snake right out of everyone's nightmares, at first glance, anyway. While Medusa is known for being a docile snake, if we ever saw this huge anaconda in real life, we'd probably be running for our lives, not making it a pet. Hold your horses, although you might not be able to when you see this one. This is Phantom, a rescue horse over 2 meters tall. He went viral for towering over everyone and everything around him. Fortunately, he's a gentle giant, so you have nothing to fear if you ever meet him. Elephants are the largest land mammals ever, but that's just their average size. This one, on the other hand, isn't your average Joe. Just the tusks on this guy are the size of a literal lion. We wouldn't be surprised if there was an earthquake every time this beast walked. The very last word you'd want next to moth is giant, but that's exactly what this one is. It looks just like a regular moth, but huge. We're already terrified of small insects. If we ever saw this, we probably would be running for our lives. Ever wondered why shearing sheep is important? They're all nice and floofy. Why trim the floof? Well, here's your answer. The wool on this sheep was 78 pounds. Poor guy was carrying all that extra weight for years. Fortunately, he was rescued, and after a run to the barber shop, he's all set to impress the ladies with his brand new fade. Now, here's one bull you really shouldn't mess with. It looks like a bodybuilder and not a natural one. Because of a rare gene mutation called double muscle, this Belgian bull is the leanest gym bro you'll ever come across. No matter where you look, it's all muscle. The bull is so big it can barely even walk properly without waddling. These lucky scuba divers ran into a ginormous sea turtle in Cozumel. Now, even though it might not look that big here, it's actually 300 pounds and definitely not something you should mess with. We've all seen big dogs here and there, but they all look like chihuahuas next to this guy, and his name is Zeus. What could be a more perfect name for such a big dog? On average, he eats 12 cans of dog food every day, and even then, he's still a little underweight. If there was an award for the strongest neck in the world, these bulls would get one every year. They walk around with these long horns every day. Good luck lassoing one of these, partner. Each horn weighs around 15 to 20 pounds, so it's no easy task carrying them around everywhere. But these guys are out here making it look like the most elegant bull walk you might have ever seen. Coconut crabs are one of the deadliest creatures on Earth. They can crush human fingers with their pincers like a piece of cake. But pair that with a massive body like this one, and you'd better nope the heck out of there, or you just might get snapped in half. What does the name sunfish sound like to you? A fish version of sunshine and rainbows, right? Wrong. What's worse, they aren't nice either. Sunfish are known for their aggressive and territorial tendencies, so you really wouldn't want to be on their bad side. Add to that the fact that this one's just insanely massive, and you've got yourself a pretty dangerous situation right here. Golf is a pretty calming sport, but for these people, it was probably anything but. This alligator was just walking around the golf course like it was a regular Sunday, but it actually caused panic everywhere it went and was very difficult to capture. Considering the gator looks more like a dinosaur than anything else, we don't blame the authorities for having such a hard time catching it. Most people don't really think of turtles as a threat, but snapping turtles can straight up rip your arm off. This guy is a complete badass for catching the turtle with his bare hands, although it was very dangerous. This one is over 200 pounds and is over a century old. Now that's ancient. Snails rarely grow longer than a couple of inches, but somehow this snail grew to the size of a rodent. What's even crazier is watching the time lapse of the snail going from being a very small baby to its final huge form. This rhino has an unusually long horn. He could easily beat anyone in a fight with that kind of advantage. The horn looks even bigger when he's standing next to a rhino with a regular-sized horn. Let's just hope they don't feel insecure standing next to him. With a horn like this one, it's safe to say he's the samurai of the rhinos. Harpy eagles are said to be the biggest of their kind, with massive wingspans and feet that are almost as big as a human's. This eagle was going around killing this farmer's lambs when he caught the bird. You can see how big this guy really is when he's being held up. We definitely wouldn't want to get on the bad side of these birds. Most frogs might go ribbit, but this one goes ribbit. This bad boy is big enough to knock your socks off. Plus, their limbs can stretch even longer to make them bigger than they are. We can only thank God that this frog isn't poisonous or dangerous in any way, otherwise we're in big trouble. Spiders are the one thing that everyone fears, even if they're super tiny, but this huntsman spider is so big you'd probably pack up your bags and leave the country altogether. Can you imagine that thing jumping on you? Yeah, we hope we don't have to ever experience that. The owners of this pig made sure it would become the chonkiest boy in the world. Meet Tickle Me Elmo III. This fella is 1,300 pounds. Yep, you heard that right. He's so big that he's actually won competitions for the owners. Jeez, go get that trophy. A lot of people think of swans as elegant and graceful creatures, but in real life, that's not the case. Swans are aggressive to anything they find annoying, and that was unfortunately the case for this poor dog. What made things even worse for the poor guy was the fact that the swan was double its size, so there was no getting out. Galapagos tortoises are supposed to be one of the biggest of their kind, but Jay here makes the rest of his bros look tiny next to him. But don't be fooled by their looks. They might look like friendly giants, but these tortoises can be pretty dangerous, so don't get too close. If you loved Steve Irwin, you probably already hate these guys. Stingrays have the cutest of smiles, but they can be one of the deadliest creatures in the water if they want to be. But what's scarier than a regular stingray? A giant stingray, weighing over 530 pounds. Someone get a jet ski, because you've got to zoom away from this beast. When we say big cats, we don't mean lions, tigers, or any other real big cats. We mean Maine Coons. These guys are known for being, well, big cats. Wouldn't you just love to cuddle with one of these? Even though most crabs don't really have a reputation for being nice, these Japanese spider crabs are known for being gentle giants. They're actually the largest crabs from the 60,000 species of crustaceans on Earth. Even though they're supposedly nice, their size still intimidates us. Rabbits are supposed to be cute little creatures. This is basically the same thing, but supersized. Just because he's 10 times the size of a regular rabbit doesn't mean he's a mean rabbit. He's 10 times as cute too. Holy cow is probably the first thing you'll say when you see this massive cow. Meet Knickers, the largest cow in Australia. This guy towers over all his friends. And in case you couldn't tell, he's been making all the ladies swoon with his 6-foot height. He'd probably fetch a huge price from the slaughterhouse when his time finally comes. Alright, which of these animals stunned you the most? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to Trend Joint for more content like this. See you in the next one.